Welcome to the quietest ones in the room with your host, Trey. I gotta say it. Just the mere fact that you have clicked onto this video and you are listening to the sound of my voice, you by far are the most intelligent people on the face of the planet. So once again, thank you for joining me. There's a rising tension between the haves and the have-nots. We felt it in this country for so long. And we know that as we move forward, as inequality grows, it is going to increase. The wealthy understand this. The poor despise many of the wealthy. Many of the wealthy like to display their luxury on social media, like TikTok, Facebook, X, etc. They like to show off the yachts, the luxury homes, the foreign vehicles, the beautiful trips. And when you don't have any of these things and you know that you'll likely never have access to them, it can upset you. And as this inequality grows, we understand that there are groups of the have-nots that desire to attack the wealthy. I have seen many articles about homes getting broken into, people getting robbed, who are wealthy, who live in these gated communities, because many people are fed up. And again, the wealthy understand this. So there's a new term that's available for all of us to know. And it's been going on forever. But a new term has been coined and it's called the stealthy wealthy. The stealthy wealthy refers to individuals who are financially well off but choose not to show it outwardly. They maintain a modest lifestyle, avoid flashy displays of money, and often blend in with the middle class. You may say to yourself, well, what are some of their traits? Well, some of their traits are low-key spending. Even though they'll have the yacht or the big house in the rural areas, they want to avoid you knowing that they're wealthy. They're often financially literate. So they understand how to invest their money, build their businesses. They're privacy oriented. They don't want to talk about the money. And again, I go back to saying it's because they understand where we are in this country and the tension that is rising. They're so-called value driven and they have a long-term mindset. See, I was listening to CNN, and there was a host with two gentlemen on there talking about the stealthy wealthy and what they've observed from this group, how many of them come from nothing. While some of them did come from wealthy families, many of them came from nothing. And they started auto dealerships or auto parts businesses or HVAC companies and have become regional businesses who are doing very well for themselves. And so there was a discussion with many graduates of 2025 looking into what they should do coming out of Harvard, Princeton, many of these Ivy League schools. Should they go into these high-powered wage opportunities like Wall Street, your major media? Or should they move into the stealthy, wealthy space where they don't have to be so flashy, but they can still have the money and live under the radar? Many people are telling their kids now to go this route because of the growing tensions. Obviously, if you're a wealthy person, you are a target. Not just in America, but globally. And one should know this. But I also think what CNN was trying to do, and it's kind of disgusting to me, but they're a part of trying to rebrand the wealthy. Especially in an unequal world that we live in. With rising frustration towards the ultra-rich, they're trying to portray how you can be wealthy and you can be quiet and you can be modest. They just want to soften the public perception. Nobody wants to be around individuals with less than them. And they're often trying to figure out, are these people trying to get me? Are they going to try to take from me? Are they going to try to hurt me? But that's where we are. The media narrative that they're trying to do with the stealthy wealthy is position empathy over envy. Please have empathy for me. I'm just like you. I came from nothing. Sure, my family didn't have any money, but as I mentioned, and think about, and know from my experiences as a business owner, you may not have the money, but you may know a friend or a business partner of yours who has access to the money. And therefore, you can still say, hey, I didn't have the money. My family didn't. But you had access to it through your network. The reality is still about power and access. Even stealth wealth is a kind of flex. I have money, but I'm humble. Wink, wink. Being stealthy doesn't erase the fact that many still enjoy elite education. Oh, we've heard about people paying their way into these elite institutions. Safety nets, generational support. It's somewhat a game. And look, I'm not here to tell you if you're wealthy that you should feel guilty for having the money. But don't pretend if you do have the money that you're like everyone else, because you're not. Oftentimes, people's money is tied to their ego, and even when they are outwardly displaying they're like everyone else, deep down inside they feel some feel superior. Why wouldn't they? They don't have to worry about the housing prices, the car prices, the food prices. They can get what they want when they need it. And it's so unfortunate that in this country, as hard as so many work, that they're unable to afford basic things. We understand that it takes at least $140,000 in annual income to afford the average home of $400,000 in this country. Most people in this country are making around $50,000 or less. Half the country is making less than that. 97% of the wealth in this country is controlled by the top 50% in this country. And it just always feels like a setup. Obviously, the Fed, with their 2% inflation targets, understand that every year this country is going to become more and more expensive. And the wages you make become devalued more and more over time. So you have to fight for more wages, but the companies don't want to pay. So the wealthy get to show off online, or they get to live amongst you and act like they're you, but they're not. And this is not a bash wealthy people conversation, but it is to understand that we have a problem in this country that needs to be fixed, because there are too many people, as I've mentioned, working hard and do not have enough still to get done what needs to be done for their basic necessities in life. And it's, again, a global issue. I've had people on this channel comment about the housing market issues in their country, the job opportunity issues in their country. So it's a global issue, but when we focus on the United States and calling it the best country in the world, the middle class and the working class should not be struggling as much. So you'll probably hear more and more stealthy, wealthy, try to develop empathy in your mind for a group of individuals. And I get it. No one wants to be targeted. But I'll tell you who is being targeted. It's the have-nots. You cannot become wealthy in this country without extracting wealth from others. The wealthy do not become wealthy from the wealthy. They become wealthy from the wealthless. This is why we see things like buy now, pay later taking off. This is why when we saw the pandemic occur and that $8 trillion that was pumped into the economy, and people got business loans and stimulus checks and pay increases, that money was extracted out of the have-nots and now is into the hands of the wealthy. And they're not giving it up. They're banking on another issue supplying another pump of money into the system so they can capture it again. And the stealthy wealthy understand this too and will benefit as such. Anyway, please share your thoughts in the comment section regarding the stealthy wealthy. Maybe you're wealthy. And again, this is not about bashing anyone. Maybe you can give some tips. What can people do? What type of business? And again, I get it. I started a tech company in college and I didn't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. I had friends who had parents who had money. And I had angel investors. And through the course of starting other businesses, depending on what you're starting, you probably need a lot of investors or you don't need any because of the low overhead to start the business. So I have some experience and I think about these things all the time. But anyway, again, please share your thoughts in the comment section. This inequality issue is becoming more and more of an issue. So share your thoughts on that as well. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I want to thank everyone who, once again, supports this channel. I've heard your voice, many of you, saying that the audio quality was an issue. And I've taken it and I've understood what you're saying. And I understand I'm responsible and accountable. So I focused on making the audio quality better. So I hope you are pleased now with the audio quality. And I want to thank everyone because I know life gets hectic and life is busy. So I just thank you for taking the time to engage and listen. And I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone who has donated to the Cash App QuietestOnes. Every little bit counts and motivates me. So thank you. And as always, until next time.